Hello friends, in this today's tutorial we're going to learn about how to create a simple microservice, and we're going to learn how to use version for the API. Nowadays we have been creating a lot of microservice. Many clients have started using it. But when we give the client version 1, version 2, how do we manage all the version 1 to functionality and in your code base? So the Microsoft has a very good um, DLL which helps to build good versioning for your API. So we'll start creating the microservice, then we'll create a versioning. After that, we'll go for the next tutorial like connecting MongoDB and so forth. Okay, so let's create a new project. Create new project, and you can search .NET Core project. Since I already searched here, it's in the recent project template. So I'll select this ASP.NET Core Web Application template, click Next, and I'm going to name this project as a fst.order EC cart. We're going to create a simple shopping cart. For that, I'm going to create an order project now, order API microservice, ecart.order. All right, so let's create this project. And in this, we're going to select the API. So it will comes with some predefined features for us to use it to start up the API. So you select the API as the option and click create. Already. Okay, so the project is ready now. Just to verify that what core, the ASP.NET Core version we're using for this project, just to make sure we're having .NET Core AP app 3.1. So that's what we want. And first, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to delete this existing one, and we're going to create some new API. So right click, add new item, and I'm going to create API control with read write actions, and I'm going to rename this with order controller. Okay, click add. So this will create some code operation for us, and we will change it after once it's up and running. Okay, so after that, I'm going to remove this, which we don't need it. Delete this, and delete this project, this class as well. Okay, so now we have an order API controller ready. And one more thing we need to change is go to properties. It's up to us whether to change it or you keep whichever URL you want. So it comes with these settings. In these settings, you see the launch URL, which was weather forecast, which was in the previous control we had, which we deleted it. So I'm going to change this to order, and here as well, order. Okay, save this one. And so when you deploy this project to some Azure or any other deployment process, you will be end up changing ASP.NET Core environment to development, or you can add many other environment variables. So that will go further when we go to the next tutorial. So for now, we just concentrate on how to do the versioning of the API. So let's go to our controller just to make sure it's running. So I'm going to check this. Okay, it's opening up. I'm going to copy this and open Postman. I'll put here, press send, and the control call order. There is one more thing we need to do is let's go to that API. So we have API slash controller, and so let's do the same way. Go to the Postman. API slash order. So we got the value 1 and value 2, so that's what we expected results. Let's go back to the code. Now, how to do the versioning? So first thing, I'm going to right click here to get the stop this project now. Get the DLL or package. Right click, manage NuGet package. Browse versioning. Okay, so this is the package we need. Microsoft ASP.NET Core MVC versioning. Okay, click install. Okay. So okay, so once the package is installed, we'll go to the starter project and go to this configuration service area where we're going to add service dot API, add API versioning, and we just close this. This is the first step you can do. This is a simpler way, just say that we need API version. I'm going to add some more step after this. So the few things we need to add here is to get a proper API versioning. We do that. Okay. Here, so we say v dot. We want this API version. This API. So just imagine this is we already have some API already running. This is the first API we're building. So I'm going to say my default version number is API version number is equal to new API version of 1, comma 0. That's a major release version and the minor release version. Okay. So this is the first step you need to do, and to get that API, okay, I'm going to create an API which is version number 1, comma 0. So now the API version number is ready for as per the startup code. Now we can decorate for this controller and say I want this controller to be version number 1, version 1.0. So we here come here and say API versions of 1.0. So when you specify like this, so now I'm telling this order controller is version 1.0. So imagine you have version 2.0, then we can say I'm also saying this controller should support as a 2.0. So like this. Okay, so let's check this, it's working or not. So before checking, so why not we add all the version details here, and then we can play around which one is working, which one is not working. So let's see, I'm gonna keep this startup as a version 3.0. Okay, so now we have moved to the 3.0. This is the version we are releasing now, and we have API version 1.0 should be supported, version 3.0 supported, and then API version 3.0 also supported. Okay, and so how user can access this API? So there are two different approaches they can take. One, they can send the API as a URL. For example, they go to the Postman, they call the API like API slash version 1.0 or 1 order. That's the one option they can do. Or they can say the go to the header and they say API version is 1.0. So there are two approaches you can take. So let's start with the API with the URL options. Okay, so or you can just go with the not a URL option, just go with the not URL option. So they say API version 1.0 or 2.0. Okay, so now go back to this project, and here we have a get method for version 1.0, 2.0, and 3.0. Okay, project ready. So I'm going to call this request. Okay. So here it says API version is unspecified, an API version required, but was not specified. So what it's trying to tell us is we are trying to access the API version 1.0 through header, but we never tell the system that this is the header I'm going to use. So that's the thing which is missing. That's what it says. The API version is unspecified, doesn't know what to do, and this kind of error. So even if I take this off, it doesn't work because then we telling the API should work with version number 1.0, but we didn't tell how to use it. So here I say API hyphen version 1.0. So you go to the project to enable this. So see this nice feature that it's if some user trying to access your API without proper version number, they get the error message like this. So now go to the startup project. To why it's not working, so because we have the default API version say 3.0, and in our controller code we have specified I support API version 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, but we are sending API version number via header. So we need to tell the system that I am sending the version number via header. So that you can specify by using v dot API version reader equal to new header API version reader of, so I can specify what's the name I want, meaning API hyphen version. Okay, so in this I'm telling if the user send the API hyphen version as a header with the version number, then check this any version number is matched, then work. Okay, click add. Okay, while it's running, I hope it's already executed. So let's execute this. See, now it's came to this get method properly. You can press continue. It's working. What if there is a customer? I mean, when you're creating this API, you don't want people restricted to any API version. You want them to access no matter even whether they specify API version number or not. You want them to give them this results by just calling this same like a regular API call. But whenever they specify version number, we will give the different results. So if they don't specify API version result here, we'll provide this data. If they specify API version 1.0, then we will provide a different data. So to achieve that, right now it's not working. You already saw that. If I if I spec if I execute some version number, or if I don't specify this version number, doesn't work. So this doesn't work. So we want, even for the user, our client who doesn't provide the API version, we really want to provide them data, meaning the latest version data. So that you can achieve. So if they specify the version number, we can provide maybe the previous version number or future version number, something like that. But we really want to support them even if they don't specify version number. How do we do that? So there's a one line of code in the startup, make that work. So go to the startup and go here. You can say v dot report assume default version when specified equal to true. So what we're telling here is, even if it is not specified, let the API works. If they specified API, yes, then look into that API version number and provide the proper details. Let's see it works or not. All right, let's go to API. Let's run with API version number. So this is where we got the error. So I'm just keeping the same API call, no version number specified. Let's send it. It's still working. It's working now. So just that one line of code, make it happen. If we specify version number, that also will work. Okay. So then what's the use if we have the API and we are supporting just without the version number? So in that case, what we have is, what if the version now 1.0 want to provide different results? That's what we're trying to achieve here. So let's go to this here, and we're going to change one thing. Is I'm going to create new get method just for the version number 1. So right, so this is the map to API version. Map to API version 1.0, and I'll say, just to keep the different name, I'll keep a version 1. Okay, so now let's change the value to version 1, version 1 data. Okay, so now our goal is, if the user specify version 1.0, we want them to get this data instead of this one. This one, anybody can get it. Any user, that's the latest and greatest, they get this one. If they specify 1.0, then get this one. Okay, let's run this. So let's do one more thing. Let's copy paste this, and let's keep one for version 2 as well. So let's keep the version 3 as the latest. So we can say this one as a 2, and here 2. Okay, run this. Let's uncheck this. I'm gonna uncheck this, and okay, uncheck this as well. Okay. All right. So now let's call API order now. We get the version number 1 data. So what if I change to 2? We get version 2 data. What if I change to 3? We get the default value. That's the latest version data, latest API data. Okay, so what if I change to 4? Let's see what will happen here. So the 4, there's no version number 4 in our controller to support. so that they get this error message. Okay, let's go to the controller code. So now we saw how the API versioning works. So we can specify these are the version number we support. These are the version number to specify how to get the data for different um, data. Okay, so the next thing, so far we saw that we specified version number in the um, in the in the header. So what if there is a API? You know, there are many API. You saw it. You see that they have a API slash version one slash control. So why not we have this kind of versioning? So to do that, just change this to version B, version colon API version. So in this, if you go to the startup code, you'll see that this is what we are trying to specify. I need to specify the version numbers using this concept, API version. So here say version, I want the API version. Okay. Okay, let's run this and see how this is going to work. Okay, and let's go here, let's send. So 404 not found, because now we changed the API URL. So I'm going to specify. So now in this one, we don't need this header value anymore. So I uncheck this. And here I'm going to specify version 1 slash order. So now we got the version 1 data. Now if I specify version 2 dot order, we got the version 2 data. If I specify version 3, we get the default value. And if I specify version 4, we get the error message. Okay, so now we got the API with the version number as well. Okay, so now the so far API is good. And the next thing we're going to look into is we go to the startup code. Okay. There's what if this is what we are trying to do now. Now we have a controller with all this specification in this, and we don't know. I mean, this is the one approach you can do, and other approach is I don't want to maintain all this API versioning in this controller. I really want to maintain all this versioning in startup CS file. So if you have if you have, imagine if you have all the controller code in a different project, and the startup everything or startup project and the base project is in this one project, so you can deploy only this startup project. You don't need to make a change in the controller, all different controller to the version. All the version will be, we can keep it in this. Also at the same time, we can also control, maybe if you have more time to do, I mean, if you really want advanced, we can make the version number and everything in the configuration level. Like you can get the version number from database and update here. I mean, that's a next level we can do, but just want to show we can maintain the version details in the startup code itself. We don't need to specify in this section like this. Okay, so how do we do that? Go to this one and say v dot convention. That's called, it's called convention dot controller. I can specify what controller I want to have the versioning. So now I can say order controller. Okay, stop this. Let's be the order controller, and okay, let me do this. Okay, and then I can say has API version. What is that API version support this controller? I can say this supports 1.0, 1.0, 1.0, and also it support okay, I need to get this one. Okay, all right, now that should work. Has API version, I will support 2.0 and I'll support 3.0. All right, and also I support each action I can specify. So now we have all the API versions for supporting version for that controller. Also we can even specify which action we want to support differently. I can say action of and it will show all the method. I can say get method should map to API version. I can say 3.0. I can say oh, this should be a method. I can say next one is action of if sorry, get version 1. I can say that as a mapped API version to 1.1.0. In this, only one advantage of this approach is so we are not specifying it's in string format like 1.0. So we have a proper format here 1.0. And so also this is the way I'm talking about. In this, to build this API versioning, we can get this data from the database if we really need it, or from your web configuration file, and then build this version. So we can change anytime we want to the versioning. Here action, can say action of if dot get version 2 dot map to version 2.0. Okay, all right, I think this is good enough. So now let's go to the auto control again. I'm going to command this out, which we don't need anymore. Let's see this works or not. So now we specified all the versioning details in startup code. Let's run this. Go to the postman. Let's run this. This is expected. The version 4 is not there. I'm going to call 1. It's working. 2 is working. 3 it's working too. So it's good. Now there are two approaches to make the API versioning. One is you can have the header where user can send the version number through header, or other option is the user can send the version with the API URL. And there are two approaches to specify the versioning in the code. The way they can create, one option is you can decorate like this, or you can specify those version detail in the startup code. Okay, so far so good, right? I think so. Now you learned how the API versioning works. So you can start develop your new microservice with the version control and versioning like this. And we'll for the next tutorial we will use the same project, and then we'll add more projects in this, like domain project and data layer, and then we'll try to connect the MongoDB, and we'll use the dependency injection, as well as we'll use the unit testing and mocking. Those things we'll learn in the next tutorial. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.